Chris, let's finish up here with primary versus secondary conversions, and let's do a mea culpa here, and let's talk about how we forever had been talking about the importance of include in the conversion column yes or no, include in conversions yes or no. That's gone.
We've said that a lot.
We said that a lot. We said how useful it was, and now you go in there,
and now it's not there.
Yeah.
Now it's not there. So it's really confusing. So yeah, there was a wonderful, really simple, either you hit the checkbox and it's a tracked as conversion, or you unchecked the checkbox and it was a quote unquote all conversion. So an all conversion is just kind of the default. It's not measured as a true conversion. It's just a metric that's kind of floating out there in space. And before, a conversion was a true metric that counted as a purchase, a sale, a lead or something like that, something of value. So it's a little confusing. I do applaud that we have now replaced those with primary and
Jason
secondary.
Rothman, Chris Schaefer, host. Wow, you're not taking these jokes good today, Chris. You're tense.
They're very
looking like you want to beat me up.
Well, you said that people said I'm too old.
You're looking like, well, your mustache isn't too old because I see some coloring in that, but not in your beard.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Don't forget to color the beard too, Chris.
I don't know why I do not color my facial hair.
Well, then why do you have a brown mustache and a gray beard?
I don't know. I don't understand how that works. Jason, I'm very new to beards.
And what's with the beard in general? Why are you doing this all of a sudden? You used to be a clean-shaven guy.
I've told you, the number one person in the world that it matters what they say told me that she liked it. So that's why. You think I have an opinion?
She told me she hated it, and she's just not making you feel bad. Yeah, she told me.
Wow, I didn't.
Hold on, let me check my DMs.
Oh,
she told me.
There it is. Yeah, there it is. I see you're showing to me. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
I didn't. She didn't tell me
that. Yeah. Give me a smile. Come on, Chris. You know we just joke around.
You're never gonna hurt my feelings. So it's
got to have feelings to hurt.
You got to be. I have to have like some type of.
When's the last time you cried? You don't have to tell us the situation, but the date.
My wife brings up the last time I cried.
I don't even want to know the situation, but
because
how
it was
long ago
so traumatic for her to see me cry. She's like, "Oh my
no,
gosh!"
I don't want to know.
It was something really traumatic.
Yeah. How long ago was it?
It was years ago. But my wife saw it and she's never forgotten it because it's never happened and she couldn't believe it.
Ooh,
and
I quickly snapped out of it.
Quickly snapped out of it.
So yeah, Chris, include in conversion column or include in conversions, which means it is included in the conversion column. It used to be a yes or no option. It used to have that language. That's been replaced with primary versus secondary conversions. We'll have a link in our description. It's a Google support doc about primary and secondary conversion actions. But Chris, if we go to our notes here, I just have a screenshot here. When you're creating a conversion, near the top of the conversion action, I'll just pull one up here, see what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Near the top, you can edit your settings, and then right under conversion name, you have goal and action optimization, and you can say primary action used for bidding optimization. And if you do that, you'll see a green box that says this action will be optimized for and reported in the conversions column by default anytime this conversion goal is used in your campaigns. If you click on secondary, which would be equivalent to the old no, don't include in conversions. If you click on secondary, it says this action is marked secondary, will not be used for optimizations by default, and will be reported in the all conversions column. And it's not just the all conversions column. There's a lot of conversion data where you talk about cost per conversion and returns and all that. There's on many different screens. There's a lot of columns that either include, like if they're a ratio or they include two numbers like cost versus conversions or all that kind of stuff. Sometimes you'll see conversions. Sometimes you'll see all conversions. That's what this relates to.
Yeah.
And one thing to note is that the automated bidding strategies take into account the conversions and not all conversions. You agree with that, Chris?
Yeah. I think gotcha. I think the primary and secondary, as I said, is much more clear. one thing I want to add, I'm not sure if you've hit everything that you want to talk about, but I have to add here
Go ahead.
that if you're not using automated bids, if you're not using max conversions, target CPA, things like that, automated bidding, which is 99% of the bidding options that are available. There's only one thing that's not, and that's manual bidding. And that's what Jason and I prefer for most of our accounts. So if you're not using automated bids, that is what it's specifically referring to when it talks about it's used for bidding optimization.
Yeah.
So don't think that somehow if you don't be too hung up on whether you decide this should be primary, this should be primary, what you're choosing, because in reality, if you're not using automated bidding, as they call nowadays smart bidding, if you're not using smart bidding that accounts for conversions, which would be, for example, which would not be max clicks. That is smart bidding, but it's not using conversion
data. Yeah.
as any kind of target or goal. So it's important to note that is what they're referring to when it says used for bidding optimization. And the second thing that's important to note here is when you choose a primary action, the other thing that is linked to is your optimization score. Your recommendations tab gives you an overall optimization score. And if you choose a goal that says most conversion, you want to get conversions on this. That's what your goal is for this. You want to choose conversions. And then you were to turn off all conversions and you set all conversions as secondary, you're actually going to get a poor
optimization score. Yeah,
optimization score, because you're not hitting one of the goals on your campaign.
Wow.
So it's all tied in, and in reality, it doesn't make any successes as to whether your campaign can be successful or not successful. A lot of times it just has to do with how the data is interpreted and how it's displayed.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a lot to remember here. You got to know that if you're going to be doing automated bid strategies that are based on conversion data, primary conversions are going to be included in that, and the system will take them to account. Secondary conversions or not. I don't know for sure about enhanced CPC on manual, but I would assume it does take into account.
Yeah, I'm sure a little bit.
The conversions that are in primary, because it's based on conversions. Second thing is the conversion column. Stuff that's in primary will show up or conversions that are marked primary will show up in the conversion column. Conversion actions that are marked secondary will not, but they will not show up in conversion column, but they will show up in all conversion column. And then, like you're saying, Chris, the optimization scores are affected as well. One final thing about this, at the campaign level, when you're at the campaign settings, you can go to your goals, and by default, it will use the account goal settings, which I believe are your primary conversion actions. But if you want to only use select or specific primary conversion actions, you can hit use campaign specific goal settings and override the account default there. So a lot going on.
There is. It's a whole.
And I'm glad we did a refresher today, Chris, on conversions. It definitely, all these are improvements. I love all these changes.
It's an improvement because it gives us a little more clarity on exactly what's happening and what's this, how's this being tracked, how is this being changed by this, and you have a little more control than we used to, simply because we have clarity. That's usually, when it comes to Google Ads, you don't usually have more control. They don't usually give you more options or more things. They just help you to clarify what your options that you do have. That's the case of how things work. So